Welcome to today's video on Mendelian genetics, where we explore the foundational principles of inheritance as established by the father of modern genetics, Gregor Mendel. Long before the discovery of DNA or chromosomes, Mendel's experiments with pea plants revealed the fundamental laws of genetics that remain relevant to this day. His work laid the groundwork for understanding how traits are passed down from one generation to the next. In this video, we'll discuss Mendel's two key principles, the law of segregation and the law of independent assortment, and how they shape our understanding of genetic inheritance. Along the way, we'll use examples of pea color and pea shape to demonstrate these concepts. Let's dive in. Section 1. Who was Gregor Mendel? Before we delve into Mendel's laws, let's take a moment to appreciate the man behind these revolutionary ideas. Gregor Mendel was an Austrian monk who, in the mid-1800s, conducted a series of experiments on pea plants that changed our understanding of biology forever. His careful and methodical approach to breeding peas allowed him to observe how traits were inherited from one generation to the next. Mendel proposed that traits are controlled by pairs of hereditary units, now known as alleles, which are passed down from both parents. These alleles determine how specific traits are expressed in offspring. Fun fact, did you know that Mendel's work was largely ignored during his lifetime? It wasn't until decades later that scientists recognized the importance of his discoveries. Section 2. The law of segregation. One of Mendel's key contributions is the law of segregation, which states that the two alleles for a gene carried by an individual separate during the formation of gametes, the sperm or egg cells. This means that each gamete only carries one allele from each pair. This ensures that offspring inherit one allele from each parent, allowing for a new combination of alleles. To illustrate this, let's look at a gene that controls pea color. Suppose G is the allele for green peas, and G is the allele for yellow peas. In a heterozygous pea plant, GG, the alleles will segregate during meiosis, the process of cell division that creates gametes. As a result, half of the gametes will carry the G allele, and the other half will carry the G allele. When these gametes combine during fertilization, the offspring receive one allele from each parent, resulting in a new combination of alleles and traits. Fun fact, Mendel used over 28,000 pea plants in his experiments to ensure his results were accurate. Talk about dedication to science. Section 3. The law of independent assortment. This law states that alleles for one gene separate into gametes independently of the alleles for another gene. This means that the inheritance of one trait, such as pea color, does not affect the inheritance of another trait, like pea shape. For example, let's introduce a second gene that controls pea shape. The allele for wrinkled peas is W, and the allele for smooth peas is small letter w. A plant that is heterozygous for both traits can produce 4 possible combinations of alleles in its gametes. This independent assortment results in various combinations of traits in the offspring, providing a wide range of genotypes and phenotypes. However, independent assortment only holds true if the genes are located on different chromosomes or are far apart on the same chromosome. Genes that are located close together may be linked, meaning they are inherited together. Section 4. Understanding genetic crosses. To see Mendel's laws in action, let's explore a classic genetic cross. A genetic cross involves mating two organisms to observe how traits are passed to the next generation. For instance, if we cross a pure-breeding pea plant with yellow peas with a pure-breeding green pea plant, all the offspring in the F1 generation will be this, and they will all display the green pea phenotype. This is because green is dominant, while yellow is recessive. Next, we can perform a test cross to determine whether an individual showing the dominant phenotype, in this case, green peas, is homozygous dominant or heterozygous. We cross this individual with a homozygous recessive individual, GG. If all the offspring have green peas, the unknown individual is likely homozygous dominant. If some of the offspring have yellow peas, then the unknown individual is heterozygous. Section 5. Real-world application of Mendel's laws. Mendel's laws of inheritance are not limited to pea plants. They apply to the genetics of many organisms, including humans. For example, certain human genetic disorders follow Mendelian inheritance patterns. These principles allow geneticists to predict the likelihood of traits or conditions appearing in offspring. Let's take a real-world example. Cystic fibrosis, a genetic disorder that follows autosomal recessive inheritance. If both parents are carriers of the recessive allele for cystic fibrosis, there's a 25% chance that their child will inherit the disorder, a 50% chance that their child will be a carrier, and a 25% chance that their child will be unaffected. By applying Mendel's principles, genetic counselors can help families understand the risks of passing on genetic disorders and make informed decisions about family planning. Fun fact: cystic fibrosis is one of the most common genetic disorders in people of Northern European descent, affecting around 1 in 2,500 babies born. Section 6. Expanding beyond Mendelian genetics. While Mendel's principles explain many patterns of inheritance, they don't account for all genetic phenomena. Traits such as incomplete dominance, codominance, and polygenic inheritance reveal that genetics can be more complex. For example, in incomplete dominance, the heterozygous phenotype is a blend of the two alleles. Instead of one allele being dominant over the other, both contribute to the trait's expression. A classic example is seen in snapdragon flowers, where crossing a red flower with a white flower results in pink flowers. In codominance, both alleles are fully expressed in the heterozygote. For instance, in human blood types, the A and B alleles are codominant, meaning that a person with both alleles will have AB blood type, expressing both A and B antigens on their red blood cells. Conclusion: the power of Mendel's discoveries. In conclusion, Mendel's laws of inheritance laid the foundation for the modern understanding of genetics. His principles of segregation and independent assortment explain how traits are inherited, not just in pea plants, but in all living organisms. Mendel's work provides the basis for studying more complex genetic patterns and human diseases, demonstrating the power of genetics in predicting how traits are passed down through generations. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into genetics and other fascinating biological topics here on King of the Curve.